Hi. Hello everyone, this is Aegon of Astora, and welcome back to my blind playthrough of Elden Ring. This is episode number 54, being recorded on Saturday, May the 27th, 2023. I hope you're all having a fantastic day whenever it is you find yourself watching this. So, we find ourselves once again, for the second time, at the Mountaintop of the Giants. And we have a couple of different paths before us. So the first, which is where I started heading in the previous episode, was towards this, whatever this area is. Looks like it could be a legacy dungeon type area, or just a fort of some sort. And that would also potentially lead to this last remaining Volcano Mana request. I think that was for Knight Bernahl, or Recusant Bernahl for his questline. Yeah, so there's that. And there might have been one other reason I wanted to go there. Oh yeah, so we can, once we go up there, we can cross over this bridge. There's some ruins here, it looks like, and then cross over this bridge to the minor Erdtree. However, the Guidance of Grace is pointing us in this direction, which looks like it links up to this path, which leads to a lighthouse. So, I think I've, cleared the beacon from that lighthouse, because I think it'll be a while until we actually reach that, because that's in that lower part of the mountain. So I think we're probably going to want to start by going in this direction and heading towards the lighthouse. It's been just under a week since I recorded the previous episode, and I am way the heck behind on not just editing, but also on putting together video descriptions, because yeah, video descriptions do take some time to put together. That's a gosh darn memory tower. A memory rise, whatever you would call it. Oh, there's some jellyfish friends here too. And so, throughout the week, I've been thinking about the game as usual, and I had some... Oh, gosh darn it, there's another ghost friend here. So let's mark it on the site of Grace. Mark it on the map, I should say. Although, okay, let's see if we can use that torch thing. Again, I think, yeah, we don't meet the faith requirements for it. Although we will soon, we're at 14 faith now. Yeah, I don't think it works. Let's see. What? Okay. I did not think that was a Scarab. That was the last thing I thought that was. Seppuku. This Ash of War grants an armament to the blood affinity and the following skill. Seppuku, a forbidden technique, used by swordsmen from the land of reeds. Plunge the blade into your stomach to stain it with blood. Increases attack power and improves ability to inflict blood loss. So again, the land of reeds appears to be essentially Japan. Or, ancient Japan in particular. So, we appear to have figured out the torch thing. Excuse me. Do we want to go check out the other ghosts, see what they have? I think we do. Alright, gosh, this is gonna take us way back to the beginning of the playthrough. First one was here that we encountered anyway. So let's go have a look. You know, it may be easier for me in editing to just do this roundup style, which is to say, every time we come across one, which is to say I will just cut instead of actually showing you where I'm warping. I think I'll probably just cut to the next instance in which we're encountering one of these ghostly scarabs. So was it just the torch? Or can we attack with anything? No, I was definitely too slow there. So let's see again. It had to have been the torch. No, gosh darn it, I think I was too slow again. Oh my goodness, this whole time I was just overthinking it so much. You know, credit to everyone in the comments section, because not a single person said, this is how you do that. So I appreciate the, yeah, anyways, that's just sad that it took me so long to figure that out. Okay, yeah, wow. So this one is for Stamp, Sweep, brace armament and step into a low stance that prevents recoil from most enemy attacks. Follow up with a strong attack for a sweeping strike. So yeah, not really very exciting, that one. Ash of War, Flame of the Redmanes. Flame of the Redmanes, skill of the Redmanes who fought alongside General Radon. Produce a powerful burst of flames in a wide frontward arc. Okay, I actually think I meant to place this one near Fort Gale. I think that one is misplaced. But yeah, oh, stop it, friend. You know, I'm a little bit disappointed by that. You know, of course, it's not the game's fault that I had particular expectations about what the outcome of resolving that mystery would be. Because, of course, they sound just like scarabs. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, never mind. There is one over there. They sound just like scarabs. So, you know, shouldn't be terribly surprised to learn that it is just a scarab. Oh, yeah. Now that I know what it is, the messages are all rather obvious. So, okay, let's focus on... Oh, gosh, darn it, that was terrible. Yeah, so, you know, in other words, I don't think this is really worth doing. Maybe we'll come back. Yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously now that whenever we find one, we'll know what to do. Poison armament. It does provide potentially interesting lore insights to the area. Wait, poison armament. Oh, so that wasn't even a weapon art. That was an incantation. Incantation of the Servants of Rot. Enchants armament held in the right hand with poison. This incantation can be cast while in motion. Those who dwell within poison know Rot all too well, the death that begets life, that comes to all equally. That is to say, it is the cycle of rebirth put into practice. So we've heard that line before. Ash of War through and through. Powerful archery skill using a great bow, held in an oblique stance. Ready the great bow, then twist the bowstring to fire a mighty great arrow that can penetrate through enemies. Yeah, alright. Honestly, I can't be bothered. We only have a few left, but at the moment, all I really want to do is proceed in this area, so yeah, we're just going to leave that be. And await whatever boss we have. It's going to pop up out of the ice here. I have a feeling something bad is going to happen in this lake here. You know, I'm thinking maybe the path is up on that cliff. And so maybe we do have to go in the other direction, after all. Well, I suppose we'll find out. Wow, it is Frozen Ilium Lois, Frigid Outskirts level of blizzard out here. Yeah, this is really bad. Oh, of course. Borealis the Freezing Fog. I had a feeling that was not accidental. Oh, that's bad. Shout out to everyone for insisting that I use Torrent in one of these boss fights. Well, oh, gosh darn it. I have no depth perception. It serves me right for poking fun at my own daughter. For her depth perception development. I really have no stamina management ability. Oh, that's bad. Ooh. More depth perception indeed. Oh. Could not summon Torrent fast enough there. That's bad. Where'd he go? There he is. Oh. Oh no, sorry, Torrent. Hope you're not too chilly, friend. We only got a little ways to go. Oh, sorry, Torrent. My bad, friend. That was a dreadful dodge. One more hit. Oh no, I got greedy. Just one more hit though. That's all we need. Whew. Dragonheart. New draconic power is available. Okay. Someone left a comment to indicate that we missed draconic what was it called? Like one of those places you can actually get Draconic altar or something at this one, the Cathedral of Dragon Communion. So again, we'll have to go back there and sort that out at some point. Or did I leave another beacon? I have a second beacon mark somewhere. Ah, here. Took a brief detour at Caelid while hunting all of the... Oh, it's only one charge? Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I do that? It's actually a very low cost to bring Torrent back. Yeah, anyways, so we'll have to check out the Draconic powers at some point. That was a really cool way to start a boss fight though, because I was just thinking like, okay, this is just seemingly a characteristic of the area, a la Frigid Outskirts in Dark Souls 2 in the Crown of the Ivory King DLC. But no, it was the boss was coming for us. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know what a pathetic sword is, but yeah, this place is reinforcements ahead. Yeah, that's something obviously we're not yet privy to. I think ahead from here is just... If anything is ahead from here, it's only, what's it called? Crumbling Farum Azula. Okay, there's a frozen crayfish rather. Gosh, I can't speak, I'm sorry. It's only 7 in the morning. I had a very long week. I was not able to do any recording during the week just because, you know, there's a church there. I've been burning the candle at all ends, really. I mean, they say usually you burn the candle at both ends, but I've been burning it at all ends. I don't know if it's like a cross joint, but like in candle form, whatever it looks like. I've been burning all 4 ends. And yeah, feeling the effects of that a little bit in terms of, you know, I've only been sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night, trying to make time for everything, and that's been quite difficult. So, you know, a couple of days this week, I allowed myself to sleep until 7, which, you know, I never in a million years would have imagined that would be sleeping in for me, but indeed, I slept in by sleeping until 7, so we're obviously going to use one of our many swordstone keys here. Or swordstone. Stone sword, gosh darn it, I'll never get that right. Spiritcaller Cave. Okay, so we're gonna light the Site of Grace and then come back to this later. Haha. Just kidding. Sure, I triggered a bunch of people there though. Actually, we should level up, so let's do that. I think we said we were going to do dexterity, intelligence, and faith in lockstep. So yeah, sure, why not? Or, now that we know we don't need that stupid torch, maybe we'll just do dex until 20, and then we'll decide what to do from there. I know I keep changing my mind, my apologies, but, yeah, it's not a straightforward decision necessarily. And in any case, we have several... How many of those items? We have 11. So, yeah, we have the means to oh gosh, darn it. I should have seen that coming. We have the means to reallocate our stats many times over, so... What the heck is that? Oh no, this friend is just going to continually spawn them. Yeah, that's bad news. Silly snail. I should realize... Wow, something weird is going on here. Again, to give the game credit, I complained, maybe complain isn't quite the right word. I expressed disappointment in the early phases of this playthrough. In what I felt was, at the time, what I felt was a very disappointing series of sort of open world dungeons. That, you know, I didn't think there was really much to them, and they were just short, insubstantial, not really a lot, not really interesting from a design perspective. You know, maybe minor lore insights contained therein, but yeah, as we've progressed in the world, the dungeons keep getting more and more interesting. And this is a prime example of that. Sorry. As I apologized just now, I am reminded of a couple comments I've received from people who have, you know, I know for people who haven't been around for a while. Oh, this one is a named friend? Oh, the named friend is over here. Someone disciple. Gosh darn it, someone disciple of something. Inaba, disciple of Okina. Okina. Oh my goodness, get wrecked. Spiritcaller Cave. Okay, yeah, so the I didn't really process the meaning of the name of the cave until now, but that makes sense. So what I was saying was that for viewers who have not been around for a while, I understand there are many aspects of the channel and my style that will be quite jarring to viewers. In particular, the comments I'm thinking of were comments in which viewers were expressing, maybe annoyance isn't quite the right word, but like, why does he call everyone friend? One person mentioned that in like alt-right circles, they use the term friend, F-R-E-N, all the time, and they said they found it a bit jarring because they could tell that I'm obviously not an alt-right type person. And, you know, to which I replied to is say, you know, I'm pretty sure I was saying friend, F-R-I-E-N-D, on this channel, not in an unironic sense, like literally the same literal meaning of friend. Although, you know, maybe I don't use it quite literally because I use it to refer to more or less any NPC in the game world. As well as to use to refer to viewers often as well, but you know, I try to use it in an inclusive sense, and that's obviously, in my view, probably not how the alt-right term F-R-E-N is meant to be used. But I'm getting off track already, and essentially the person said, like, you know, I find it a bit jarring to use friend all the time for that reason, to which I would say just that I'm pretty sure I've been using friend on this channel in the same way I'm using it today, longer than the alt-right sort of F-R-E-N thing has really been in existence. And in fact, I would argue that, because I think, yeah, I'm sure someone will correct me, but I think the alt-right, as we know it today, sort of emerged in 2015, 2016, around the time when Donald Trump was running for president. And maybe that's a bit of historical revisionism, but because obviously the alt-right was essential in getting Donald Trump elected, among other things. But yeah, getting off track. Heroes Rune. Rune Arc. So that was one thing, just, you know, my use of the term friend. And yeah, so obviously I wanted to clarify for everyone as well that when I use the term friend, I am not using the alt-right term FREN or whatever it was. So that's one thing. A second comment that I received was from someone who said something to the effect of, you know, why are you calling these people... Okay, thankfully that friend was being summoned by that snail. So, oh, here's another one. Wow, there's so many snails here. So I assume the boss of the area is going to have to be a snail, but... Wolf's like, oh, snail friend, what's going on? Oh, why are you hurting? Oh. The stupid things I laugh at. So this other comment said something to the effect of... you know, why do you call these things your friend? And why do you say sorry? They're just monsters in a video game who are trying to kill you. You shouldn't be calling, you know, you shouldn't be calling them friend. You shouldn't be apologizing to them. Just this same sort of, like, I've had comments like this before, but received more of those comments earlier in the lifespan of the channel, where people just sort of weren't used to the idea of, you know, I guess me and how it is that I play these games. But essentially, they were saying, it doesn't make any sense that you're saying sorry as you're murdering things. To which I would say, you can kill things in a video game and still sort of feel bad about it. And maybe it's just that what we do here is really that sort of out of the ordinary, but it's kind of weird to me that it's such a shocking thing that someone would express remorse when murdering things in a video game. Perhaps it's just so normalized that it's just something that's so outside of the ordinary for this person that they felt the need to comment about it with like a rolling eyes emoji in their comment. But, you know, I don't think it's that weird a thing to, you know, because when you're playing a video game, you have to kill things, like, because that's sort of the way video games have always been designed. And that says something about our society as well. We live in a society in which, you know, video games are, without a doubt, a reflection of the society in which we live, and they're a reflection of the values of our society. And, you know, in our society, we value violence. It might sound absurd to say, but we absolutely value violence. You know, I grew up as a kid watching wrestling on television. Another way in which we value violence. Football, American football, one of the most popular sports in the world. It's a very, extremely violent sport. We value violence. We choose to spend a great deal of our resources as a society on weaponry, military armaments, on these things that, you know, ultimately should not matter, but we spend so much of our resources on acts of violence that, like, we can't properly take care of people because we value violence. We value, you know, demonstrations of quote-unquote strength. And I put strength in air quotes because, oh gosh darn, oh, I thought I was dead there. That was very close though. I put strength in air quotes because I might as well use a rune arc. Because when we use the term strength, we're often thinking about physical strength, because again, we value violence. And so all of that is to say, it's no surprise that the central mechanic in most video games, by far the vast majority of video games, I would say, is violence, because it's a reflection of us as a people, as a society. Thank goodness we got that snail before they summoned another one of those Land of Reeds friends. Gosh darn it. And so that doesn't mean that when you're playing a video game, you have to embrace, like, I guess for some people it does, and for this person, they would be one of those people who they're just so aghast at the possibility that someone would murder a thing in a video game and feel remorse about it. But you know, and it's not, you know, I'm not sitting here like bawling my eyes out like, oh, I'm so sorry for that thing I killed in that video game. But when I say sorry, I sincerely mean it. I wish there were ways, and you know, I would like to acknowledge here all the comments of people who have said throughout this playthrough you should play Undertale. But you know, I'm thinking more in terms of like a Souls type game, like a Souls type game in which you can, and I guess you could do this in Souls to a degree, but even then, like when doing a playthrough like this, if you don't want to miss things, you have to kill things. And so, yeah, anyways, I'm talking in circles at this point, but the reed set, very nice. Armor of the white reeds fashioned from banded iron plates worn by the Inaba, head disciples of the great swordsman Okina. The Inaba traveled in pursuit of not only the master who abandoned them, but also proper deaths, won honorably through hard-fought combat. To be a white reed is to seek death, fitting for the Inaba, who desired nothing more than to die by the sword. So again, more or less, that is, you know, it's basically a retelling of Japanese history. When it comes to sort of how the samurai died off, or at least my understanding of that historical period, which admittedly is a history I learned through fiction, so, you know, I don't know to what extent that's actually valid, but yeah, anyways, I just wanted to comment on what I find just quite interesting, this idea that it's so absurd that I would, and you know, something that deserves to be subject to eye rolls, that I would apologize to an NPC in a game while killing them. Because, you know, that's me saying basically, and there are multiple meanings of sorry. This is another aspect of this I wanted to comment on. There are multiple meanings of sorry. One meaning is, I'm sorry for the thing I'm doing to you, or did to you, or I'm going to do to you. So that's one aspect of it. And there's another meaning which is quite simply, I'm sorry this happened to you, or I'm sorry that this is your lot in life. I'm sorry that you are dealing with X, Y, or Z. And so, you know, often when I'm using sorry in these games, it's the latter meaning as well, which is to say, you know, I'm sorry that you're an undead friend in this world, which is a dreadful world in which, you know, I wouldn't wish my worst enemy to suffer that kind of fate. So that's another thing I mean when I'm saying I'm sorry. So I don't know why I'm clarifying all of this, but I just, you know, I found it interesting because, as you all know, I read every comment as they come in. Several times a day, I'm check on my phone, just what are the comments, what are people saying, and sometimes there are ones that jump out at me and sort of just stay with me over the course of a few days, and then I think about them and then want to discuss them in these episodes. So yeah, anyways, I guess that's what I'm doing. So let's see what this apparent boss has in store for us. I assume it's going to be another snail friend. Godskin Apostle. So another thing I want to keep on our radar is the whole like, why is everything a spirit here? Oh, what am I doing? Oh. Okay, so there's got to be a snail somewhere here, right? Gosh darn it. Unless there's not. Okay, this might be the end of us. Dreadful dodging. Ah. Okay. Okay, see, that's what I thought was happening. Godskin Swaddling Claw. Oh, man. There's some things in this game that hit different when you have a baby at home. Godskin Swaddling Cloth. Oh. Okay, so the reason for my initial hesitation when the Godskin Noble spawned there was that I was thinking, okay, we killed the Godskin Apostle, and then I was thinking a second Godskin Apostle was being summoned, which was to say, oh no, for as long as the Spiritcaller Snail is around, it's just gonna continue summoning new bosses, and so that's why I spent all that time right when the Godskin Noble was spawned trying to find the snail, although I suspect you probably can't find it until after you defeat the Godskin Noble. But anyways, Godskin Swaddling Cloth and Black Flame Ritual. Superior Black Flame Incantation of the Godskin Apostles summons a circle of black flame pillars around the caster. Charging increases the size of the circle. The Gloam-Eyed Queen led the Apostles. It is said that she was an Empyrean chosen by the Fingers. Excuse me. It is said that she was an Empyrean chosen by the Fingers. So we still don't really know what an Empyrean is. But that's something, yeah, we need to keep in mind. Sacred Cloth of the Godskin Apostles, made from supple skin sewn together. Successive attacks restore HP. The Gloam-Eyed Queen cradles newborn apostles swaddled in this cloth. Soon they will grow to become the death of the gods. So you can see it has a little nose and eyes and a mouth and a hand. Gruesome. Absolutely gruesome. So there are all sorts of HP restoration items in this game. I questioned earlier whether it would be possible in the context of this playthrough to, or in the context of this game rather, to create a viable HP restoration build? I think the answer to that question is undeniably or unquestionably a yes. It would be quite viable. There are many items you can use for that. Not just weapons, but also talisman and like armor and stuff too, so pretty cool. So once again, I am quite enjoying the dungeons. Okay, yeah, we might as well level up once again. 15,000, we need... another 9,000, basically. We'll call it 10,000 just to be safe. Alrighty then. You know, I am tempted to just look up hard cap, soft cap, Elden Ring, something like that. Because, yeah, I do wonder... oh, gosh darn it. I do wonder whether it's the same. Ooh. So this... that has to be the Flame of the Giants. Oh, what was it called? It's the whole reason we're here. The Flame of Ruin. Yeah, really quite striking. Yeah, it does look like the path to... going up there is... yeah. This way? No, that's where we came from. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be clearer once we've actually got the map, so let's just continue on. I'm going to leave Crayfish Friend alone there. And where was that church? Right there. There's another Crayfish Friend here, but an item as well. Oh no. Somber Smithing's on level 8. Sorry, Crayfish Friends. I'm sorry. Ooh, that was a close one. Or sorry, I should say frozen Crayfish Friends. So hopefully we have some new dialogue from Melina here. Rare item. Somberstone Miner's Bell Bearing. So again, we have a ton of those to turn in. Level 5 and 6. Grave Glove Ward, Smithing Stone. Okay, so... yeah, we got quite a few bell bearings to turn in. Site of Grace. First Church of... okay, so I asked earlier in the playthrough, I wonder where the first Church of Marika is. Sorry, I can't speak. Because in Limgrave, I think we had the third Church of Marika. Fourth Church of Marika is in the Weeping Peninsula. And I thought thought we had a second church somewhere. I'm probably just not finding it, but... First Church of Marika, indeed. I don't know what those noises are. We have some Melina dialogue.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you? In Marika's own words, hark, brave warriors. Hark, my Lord Godfrey. We commend your deeds. Guidance hath delivered ye through each ordeal to the place ye stand. Put the giants to the sword and confine the flame atop the mount. Let a new epoch begin, an epoch glistening with life. Brandish the Elden ring for the age of the Erdtree.
Fascinating. So, again, we've heard this before, that there was a war between the giants and the Erdtree. And so Marika was sending Godfrey, first Elden Lord, out to fight with the giants to confine the flame of ruin. So we know it as a flame of ruin, but I wonder how do the giants know it? Because we talk about the flame of ruin. For them, maybe it's the flame of life. So, the way Marika is framing it in this speech to Godfrey, seemingly, is that you must confine the flame of ruin in order to allow life to flourish in the age of the Erdtree. But, do the giants feel the same way? Because from their perspective, it might be something completely different. So, worth thinking about, I think.
We're almost there. The flame of ruin lies just ahead. I'm glad it was you I travelled with. I must tender my thanks to Torrent, too. Thank you, Torrent. Please continue to lend your aid.
Nay!
The end.
Yeah, I'm glad as well, friend. Thank you for being amenable to me restoring to an earlier save so that we could get you back on our side again. Yeah, because even if we had used Celestial Dew or whatever, I don't think it would have mattered. I don't think there would be any getting her back, so to speak, or, having her to... There would be no having her speak with us again until, inevitably we fight her as a boss or something. Sacred Tear. Good spot to gaze at the moon, I suppose. I don't think we have enough sacred tears to upgrade our flask, but worth... Oh, we do. Okay. Beautiful. So it's plus 11 now. Again, I don't know what the upgrade level is, how far you're supposed to actually take it, but it's amazing to me that they extended the upgrade levels to such a degree. Just wondering if we can ascend that spot from here. I don't know if we can. But in any case, we are... Oops, gosh darn it, meant to do this. We are not far from... So the Sight of Grace, the Guidance of Grace is also leading us in that direction. However, we want to unlock the lighthouse first, and then we're going to go in the other direction. So apologies for anyone who's really looking forward to us getting to the Flame of Ruin, but... Oh... Okay, so we might not be able to actually reach it. What did we just pick up? I don't actually know what we just picked up. Because I was distracted by the revelation that that is the spot. Alright. My bad, everyone. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we might end up having to turn around anyway. But yeah, insofar as the Flame of Ruin has been confined, I wonder if that's why it's all snowy here. Okay, so we have doggos that are not ghosts. Oh, and there's a... Oh, and a graveside we can rob. There's a spirit spring, so we can ascend up to that spot. Sorry, doggos. Again, you know, I don't think it's contradictory to hunt things in a game and then feel some measure of gosh darn it, some measure of remorse for having done so. So, but, you know, maybe that's just me. Oh, gosh darn it. But yeah, I mentioned that, you know, I acknowledged earlier that there were a number of people who indicated, so, you know, I had my whole spiel about how I wish there was a game that had sort of an active ecology in the sense that, you know, depending on what you do in the game world, it really affects the ecological makeup of the world. And, you know, that has an impact on what sort of creatures and people and things you find in the world and the health of the world and things like that. And so several people in the comments suggested that I play Undertale as a response to, you know, all those things I was saying I wanted in a game. And so, yeah, I'd love to play Undertale one day when I have the time, certainly. At the same time, I don't know, because no one really explained whether Undertale has an ecosystem-based world of that sort. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm curious if that was what they were referring to specifically, or if they were just referring to the idea that, of course, you can play the game in a way that, you know, you can play the game as a pacifist. You don't have to attack or kill things. You can befriend the people and things you encounter in the world, and that the game itself is sort of conscious of these things, and that affects subsequent playthroughs in different ways, which I think is really interesting. However, I don't, you know, at least to the best of my knowledge, I don't know that that actually has an impact on the ecosystem of the world. So you all will have to let me know, if you're still around, those who recommended Undertale, whether that is a thing, you know, I can expect. Lord Contender's Evergaol, so someone who wanted to become a lord, but ultimately did not, and ended up being imprisoned in this Evergaol. So, let's see. Roundtable Knight Vyke. Oh, this is one of the first... I want to say this is one of the first Roundtable Hold assassins, or one of the original champions of the Roundtable Hold, who thankfully is not two-handing his halberd. Because if he were, I would not be able to parry it. Oh, gosh darn it. Whoa. That's a cool attack. Gosh darn it. That really hurts. Keeps getting me with that. Ah, okay, I'm gonna stop trying to parry this friend. No! That was close. Oh, come on. Oh, that was almost a silly trade. Vyke's Dragon Bolt and Fingerprint set. Incantation of Vyke, Knight of the Roundtable Hold, summons red lightning to bolster both the caster's body and their armament held in the right hand. Enchants armament with lightning affinity attacks and increases maximum equipment load. However, lightning damage negation will be reduced. Of all the knights, Vyke the Dragonspear was the one Lanciax loved the most. Iron Helm singed and blistered by fingers. Worn by Vyke, Knight of the Roundtable Hold. No other tarnish was closer to the throne of the Elden Lord than Vyke, but without announcement, Vyke traveled far below the capital and was scorched by the flame of frenzy. Did he make his choice for his maiden, or did some other force lure him with suggestion? So, in other words, what's his face? Gosh darn it. There's no way I've forgotten his name already, even though I clearly have. How have I forgotten his name? Shabriri. So Shabriri suggested that he go. That makes sense. So basically the same fate that led to us going down there and trying it out. But unfortunately, Vyke did not have the ability to restore to another save point. All right. So, at least in part, that's meant, I think, to hint to you, hey, you should go check that out if that's something you're interested in doing. Okay, there are marionette friends here. Yeah, I think if we can, we should just follow the path and get the map. Many more doggos here. So these are kind of like chaos totem poles in a way. Very interesting stuff. Oh no. Gosh darn it. Oh, okay, I thought these were small doggos. It's a perception issue, I guess. Or a perspective issue, I should say. Okay, this could potentially be very bad. Hopefully we can aggro just one at a time. Yeah, I'm surprised to find what are essentially Caelid doggos here. Yeah, and here's the third one. Something just fell off a cliff or something. Oh, sorry, doggo friend. Oh, what the heck is happening? These ones also have collars on. Okay, I don't know why they're phasing through the floor, but they are. Okay, so those two are paired together. Is this doggo on their own? Or are they paired with that other one way the heck over there? Thankfully, they're not quite as imposing as they were in Caelid. Maybe that just points to the extent to which we are overleveled again. And no, that friend was just solo. They were not paired with that one over there. Okay. You know, I'm cognizant of the fact that we're missing stuff here, but I really do just want the map. Oh, there's the Site of Grace. Okay, we'll get the Site of Grace. And then just loop back around to everything else. Whiteridge Road. Okay, so again, we're just going to run through because I am desperate for a map. Lots of Fire Witch activity here, as is to be expected. Oh. Sorry, Fire Witch friends. I just require access to your chain bridge, if you don't mind. Indeed. Oh, another Site of Grace. How convenient. Right next to the map. That's what I like to see. And a whole bunch of giants who have turned into trees, a la Dark Souls 2. Giant's Gravepost. Mountaintops of the Giants East. Map of eastern mountaintops of the Giants. The remote, desolate eastern summit is the highest point in the lands, in all the lands between, overlooking even the Flame Peak to the south. Wow. Okay, so here's Crumbling Farum Azula. So I hesitate to say this, but I think this might be the last lighthouse. Hesitate to say that because anytime I've said like, oh yeah, you know, I think the extent of the map will just be revealed when we go to this one. And then obviously that does not happen. So we are right here. Flame of Ruin is here. Another chain bridge. That's the Evergaol. Yeah, so we could just skip all of this stuff, but obviously I'm not going to do that. There is no clear path, however, for accessing this lower region. So my assumption is that by exploring this spot here, we'll find Ascending Gate or something of that sort, which will lead us there. Or had we turned left here instead of right, we might have found a Spirit Spring, which could lead us up here to Ascending Gate, or it's going to be a lot of ores here, or there's a coffin here or something which leads to the bottom of the waterfall. Yeah, I'm really just desperate to see the rest of the map, for better and worse. Just making sure there's nothing we're obviously missing in terms of the below ground areas, but anyways, okay. Oh, there's so much to explore here, which is exciting. But also just, you know, leaves me paralyzed with like, oh my gosh, what do we do first? These friends are covered in thorns. Okay, well, we're not going to the Flame of Ruin just yet. I think that'll be in the next episode or the episode following that one. Oh! So they're just like the other giants, but they're like Yetis at the same time. As you might expect. But I think these are the... like, so these were the true giants. I think we read in an item description somewhere where it said that these are sort of much smaller than the true giants. And you can see, indeed, even though these giants are on their knees, they're something like 3 times the size of the giants we actually fight in the game. Or at least the ones that are we fight as regular enemies. Okay, before we proceed, we're going to return to the ancient Snow Valley Ruins, and then we're going to turn left and see where that leads, if it just leads to a dead end. And then, yeah, we're going to want to explore the sort of secondary areas before we follow the guidance of Grace. Gosh, this game is absolutely incredible. Again, I know I say this every couple of episodes, if not every episode, but I'm really enjoying this playthrough, even though obviously it's taken much, much longer than, you know, I originally expected, or, you know, if anyone...
Do you hear me? It is I, Lieutenant. We're almost there. Castle Sol lies just off to the north, where the other medallion is housed. It will grant passage to the land of the Halig Tree.
Oh, oh, thank you, Lieutenant, for wow, okay. So, oh my goodness, okay. I'm so taken aback by that. It's very nice to hear Lieutenant's voice again. Used to summon the spirit of Lieutenant the Albinaric, a rare case of one who chose to become a spirit voluntarily. Lieutenant was renowned as a deft magic archer, but having lost her beloved wolf companion Lobo, she cannot move from the place where she was summoned. So Lobo essentially means wolf. I asked if in an earlier episode if that had something to do with Lobos Jr., the streamer. And no, like Lobos presumably is a reference to the word Lobo, which means wolf. So yeah, others pointed out that that is something I missed, so thank you for that. Okay, where is that medallion then? This one. Wait a second. Left half of a split medallion. Oh, okay, so it's funny it doesn't combine them. This is the one we're missing half for. Right half of a split medallion depicting the Halig Tree. Brandishing the medallion with both halves conjoined will activate the Grand Lift of Rold, granting access to a hidden path. In other words, this secret medallion will guide the bearer to the land of Miquella's Halig Tree. Okay, so we are going back, excuse me, we are going back underground again, seemingly, because this one also activates the Grand Lift of Rold, but whereas this one went up, presumably, anyway, the other one will go down. So where's the Grand Lift? Here. Indeed. That one will go down. Okay, I feel slightly vindicated for coming here. But you know, I wonder why didn't we hear that last time? Did I just totally miss that? You know, I wouldn't put it past myself, but I'm glad that little bit of confusion is cleared up, because yeah, we obviously received just a whole medallion. And, you know, I may not have expressed this out loud, but I was a bit confused about the whole Grand Lift of Rold thing, because I was, yeah. Anyways, so the Halig Tree, it would seem, appears to be underground. So the bats and the demi-humans are having a scrap here. And have the remains here of a whole bunch of giant sentinels, it looks like. Invigorating white meat. White cured meat, I should say. Warming stone. Ah, indeed. There. Oh, stop it. There is a spirit spring there, which would lead us to the Erdtree, the minor Erdtree, if we were to follow it. Shack of the Lofty, Traveling Maiden set, okay. So, I wonder if we're not following the quest line which ends with us sort of internalizing the Flame of Frenzy and becoming the bearer of the Flame of Frenzy. Is there an alternative ending? Is there an alternate ending for Hyeta's questline? A hood worn by traveling maidens. Maidens traverse the lands between for different reasons. Some to seek audience with the fingers, others to find the tarnished who they were destined to guide. Alright, so, but there is no spirit spring on this side, worthy of note. So, Shack of the Lofty. So, when someone is very ambitious, we often say they have lofty ambitions. This is time for sadness, so someone seemingly knows who that set is for. I assume that's not Hyeta. Could be wrong about that, though. Excuse me for one moment. I just saw a potential thumbnail. Again, I know I do that all the time. And then often you're not seeing the thumbnail. Did I just leave HUD on? Whoops. Whoops. No, auto, okay. I know I do that all the time, and then you don't necessarily see the thumbnail. And, you know, as I've explained, I can be a bit indecisive at times, such that even when, you know, I'm certain in the context of a given episode, oh yeah, this is totally going to be the thumbnail, guys, don't you worry. And then I end up changing my mind, and it's just, you know, I like to have lots of options, and again, I probably put way, way, way too much thought into thumbnails, but, you know, that's just sort of who I am. When I do things, I have great difficulty doing them any less than my best, so it's sort of always the approach I've taken. Merchant ahead. Oh! And this is like where we were previously, I think, the area down there. Hi, friend.
Is someone there? A customer? Well, how long has it been?
Okay, 3 rune arcs, might as well. Ooh, Thaw Frost boluses, very nice. Get all 10 of those. Ice-hued boluses made from cave moss, of course. Might as well get all 3 stone sword keys. Missionary's cookbook for rejuvenating boluses. Please rejuvenate me. Okay. Arrows, might as well purchase all of them. Great arrow, bolt, ballista bolt, lightning great bolt. Vagabond knight helm. Helm of a knight banished from their motherland, dirty and battered after enduring a lengthy vagabond journey. The visor is broken and can no longer be lowered. Metal armor is heavy, but also sturdy, offering significant damage negation. This was one of the starting sets, I believe. Well, thanks, friend. Yeah, so that's that site of grace we had earlier. Where we sat earlier, I should say, as in the previous episode, to be more precise. You know, I was looking at the title screen earlier. At the Elden Ring logo, sort of, it's not, you know, I guess it doubles as the logo, but it's also just the Elden Ring, the series of runes that are sort of arranged together. And I thought it would be an interesting exercise at some point to look at, ooh. So we can use that bridge to go across. Or we can go all the way to the Erdtree. So we might as well, while we're here, just go to the minor Erdtree and then, yeah, explore that spot afterwards. The bat's fighting here. Regret, we need you. Stargazers Ruins. Oh, stop it. Gosh darn it, I totally lost my train of thought. What was I talking about before I summoned regret? Unless I was just making plans for the episode. Yeah, I don't remember. My apologies, everyone. Yeah, you really need to strike a balance with a playthrough like this of recording the episodes fast enough to remain ahead of the comments and thus to avoid spoilers, while also not, you know, burning the candle too extensively at all ends, such that you end up being so tired that your commentary is nonsensical and, you know, your playthrough just sucks anyway, regardless of whether it's an unspoiled one.
Where did you go?
Oh!
You promised me when we turn 14, we go to see the stars.
It's Aurelia's sister! Oh my god,
Never so long, forever and ever it seems.
Oh, are we about to say goodbye to Aurelia? Oh my gosh, okay. You all can't see it, but I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps. Okay. Oh, it's Aurelia. I'm sorry. Here we are. Why can't I
When we turn 14, we go to see the stars.
Am I out of the summon range? Or do I just go speak with her?
I've been waiting ever so long, forever and ever it seems.
Oh. Did I screw up by summoning regret? What is happening? Okay. I got goosebumps. Yeah, I'm not seeing the summon thing anymore. Okay, what do we do here, friends? Oh, right. Okay. Unless we can just summon once. Okay, let's try. I'm going to try save quit, or should we just go back to the site of grace? Let's just go back to the site of grace. Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. It really is such a... The fact that some of these ashes, and obviously it's not all of the ashes because that would be just too much because there's so many ashes, but the fact that some of these ashes actually have quest lines is, to me, just tremendous. Of course, it raises the specter that you might spend, you know, a tremendous amount of resources upgrading one of them, and then, you know, unwittingly losing them. Because, you know, I think the Aurelia's sister, Aurelia jellyfish friend sister, not my daughter's sister because, you know, my daughter is our only child, Aurelia of Astora, but, yeah, wow. Because insofar as that is possible, it does raise the specter of like a... I call her Arius because in my version of Final Fantasy VII, when I was a kid, the translation was apparently wrong and her name was Arius, A-E-R-I-S. But apparently her name is supposed to be Arieth, or Aerith? I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it because as a kid I was always just reading it. Oh, stop it. Gosh darn it. And yeah, in my first playthrough of FF7, I spent a great deal of time leveling, and you know, I guess this has been a common theme since I was a kid, grinding basically to get over leveled, and yeah, put a ton of levels into Arius, and then of course, spoiler alert for FF7, when Sephiroth killed her, I was like, oh my god, all that time wasted, and, you know, obviously, like, story-wise, I was upset about the whole thing, but wasted, you know, I felt at the time, wasted a bunch of time, like, putting levels into her and stuff, and so, you know, I guess to a degree it sort of, it accentuated the loss. And so I don't know if something similar might happen here, but... Hi, jellyfish friend. I missed you, even though I've not summoned you for a while, I'm sorry. On the channel, just so you know, I named my daughter after you. There will only ever be one Aurelia jellyfish friend, but just so you know, that's what I did in your honor.
Where did you go? Dear sister. You're finally here. No time to waste. Let's see the stars.
Oh. The seal was broken somewhere. And we got a fancy spin. And some item that immediately was... Oh gosh darn it, I did not see what it was. I wasn't pressing any of the buttons, so that was the game just... Okay, we can still summon her, so that's... So, you know, you can scratch everything I just said about putting all your resources into something and then having it just not work out. Or rather, having that character or thing no longer be available to you. I'm not seeing anything here. So it must have just been the spin thing? Okay, let's see. What is it called? Fancy spin or something? There are many gestures that we've not even tried here. Fancy spin. That's good. That's really good. Rallying cry, heartening cry, bow, polite bow, as you wish, my thanks, curtsy, reverential bow. Okay, yeah. It's the blue sentinel bow, my lord. It's a bow for a lord, I guess. What do you want? Fire, spur, me, erudition, prayer. So outer order and inner order. I imagine there has to be videos on the internet of people doing PvP and like, because, you know, if I still had that much time, and if the trash man had Elden Ring, I think, you know, at this point we would already have, I would already have made a Soul Short video of us trying to do the fusion dance in front of other people and probably getting murdered for having tried to do so. So, but I imagine, you know, it's too obvious a thing that someone would have had to have done that at this point. Wow, okay. So I assume by the seal being broken somewhere, it would have been down here. We didn't look to see whether there was a seal down here, but, or maybe not. So we might not know where the seal was that was broken, but anyways, I'm sure maybe the item description will make it clear. Primal glintstone blade. An old glintstone blade that has been stained with blood reduces FP consumption of sorceries and incantations at the cost of maximum HP. The old sorcerers would slice open their hearts with these blades to imbue a primal glintstone with their soul, and thus did they die. Okay, so that implies one of two things, which I think is pretty significant, which is that, according to old sorcerers anyway, the soul is situated within the heart, or the soul is situated in blood. So I would imagine it would be the former, because otherwise, you know, they wouldn't need to slice open their heart to access the soul. They could just cut a vein or something like that, you know, a la bloodletting, to imbue a glintstone with their soul if it was just in the blood. But this is suggesting that, according to the old sorcerers anyway, the soul is in the heart, specifically situated in the heart. So that's interesting. I want to say that something similar was happening in Dark Souls 3? Am I remembering that correctly? Certainly, that seemed to be the whole thing. Gosh, I've forgotten so much of Dark Souls 3. It makes me sad to even think about it, like how much I've forgotten. But I want to say that was the whole thing with the Ring City and Gale and the Dark Soul. Maybe I'm not remembering that correctly. Unfortunately, by the time the Ring City was out, I was already basically, you know, at a stage in my life where it was starting to be very difficult to find time to devote to... Actually, the devotion of time wasn't necessarily the problem as much as it was, I guess, I painted myself into a corner with Dark Souls 3 Let's Talk Lore because each episode was so much work and is so much work that, you know, I set the standard almost too high, such that, yeah, so if we wanted to go to the Erdtree, which is a dreadful looking minor Erdtree, we could go there, although we should maybe try to finish up with these ruins first. Okay, that was risky. But yeah, I set the standard too high for Dark Souls 3, and you know, as I said, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes ago, my personality is such that I don't do anything half-ass. You know, please excuse the expression, but everything I do is full ass. Again, excuse the crude expression, but you know, it's hard, especially when you have set the standard very high for something, to go back to, you know, the early episodes of Bloodborne Let's Talk Lore. I'm sure, you know, I know there are a lot of people who love that series, but I look back at it and I feel like, you know, I could have done better. And of course, we always look back at things we did previously, and with the benefit of hindsight, we know, okay, I could have done this, I could have done that. It would have been better if I'd done this, if I'd done that, and so on and so forth. But I'm just walking in circles here, aren't I? But yeah, I look now at Dark Souls 3 Let's Talk lore, and I'm just like, it's not really... I guess it's still good, but again, there are just things that I would have done differently if I did it today. But on the flip side, if I had done those things, then, you know, the series might have ended up in the same sort of stasis in which Dark Souls 3 Let's Talk lore currently sits, in which, you know, I'm not willing to say I'm done with the series because, you know, I would still like to finish it, but like, I just, given the extensive time commitment associated with the production of each episode, it's going to be very difficult to find that time. How did I even get on that subject? I cannot even remember. Okay, that's a demi-human queen? Not a queen, but one of the larger demi-humans. We came here for the Erdtree, I think, yes. I was trying to remember why the heck we came here. I'm sorry. Yeah, again, sorry, I lost my train of thought. The reason why I brought up Dark Souls 3 Let's Talk lore, but maybe it will come back to me. Oh, right, yeah, the whole idea of blood and whether that's where the soul is located and whatnot. So yeah, by the time I played The Ring City, I was already at a phase in my life where, and in my graduate studies in particular, where I just didn't have the same amount of time to devote to my studies or to to gaming that I once did. You know, I was at a point where I really needed to just buckle down and finish my PhD because, you know, I was nearing the end of my funding and just needed to finish because otherwise there was a possibility, oh, okay, interesting, this one was just warped in. Otherwise there was a possibility I might never finish. And, you know, up to that point in my life, every major sort of goal I had ever set for myself, I had always completed. You know, I dropped out of high school when I was much younger, committed to going back to high school, finishing, and I eventually did that. Committed to, at that point, going to post-secondary school, and eventually made it there. And then, you know, I wanted to get a diploma, so I got a diploma. And then after getting my diploma, okay, oh my goodness, are you joking? Avatar of the Avatar. And after I got my diploma, I was like, okay, I want a degree. And so it just kept going one step further. And then, oh, okay, I got a degree, let's get a graduate degree. And then after I got a graduate degree, okay, let's get a PhD. And so, you know, once I set my mind on something, okay, that was pretty cool. Once I set my mind to something, you know, I'm committed to doing it, and I want to do it, and I do it, usually. So, you know, grad school at that point was extremely difficult, in part because of, you know, I'm struggling with mental health related issues, but, yeah, I was sort of saw the writing on the wall in terms of like, if I don't finish now, if I don't buckle down and finish now, then I will never finish. And this will be the first time I've really sort of failed at one of these life goals. And, you know, thankfully I managed to finish, but obviously it required a recalibration of my priorities, including spending less time playing video games and less time making videos for YouTube. So, you know, I still do my very best and probably still spend too much time doing both, but yeah, that's essentially the reason why, combined with the fact that Dark Souls 3 Let's Talk lore, just I set the standards too high, and I'm almost, you know, call it a character flaw or whatever you want to call it, I'm almost unwilling to go back to sort of a lower quality standard. You know, those are the reasons why Dark Souls 3 Let's Talk lore is just sort of in a state of stasis and why I refuse to say that I won't ever finish it, because, you know, again, I would still like to finish it one day, but we'll see. I might have to just sort of change the format, while still maintaining a high sort of quality standard, but maybe we won't read every single item description or something like that. I don't know. I'll come up with something after I finish with the Elden Ring playthrough. Hopefully, we'll see where Aurelia of Astora is at that point. So this tier, Cerulean Crystal tier, restores half of one's maximum FP, and this one automatically heals one's HP in the moment before death. However, this effect only occurs once and will expire after a certain duration. Okay, that's really interesting. So it's kind of like a last chance mechanic, similar to, I don't remember what it was called in Sekiro. Where, yeah, you had these sort of lives in reserve. Erdtree. Or if not lives, they were like full health bars. So interesting to note. Oh, a lot of bloodstains here. There do not appear to be any Erdtree guardians here. So, on the one hand, you could suggest that there are no Erdtree guardians here because there's no actual Erdtree to guard. On the other hand, you know, if there's no Erdtree to guard, why would an Erdtree Avatar have been warped here just now? So clearly there's still something worth guarding here. But for one reason or another, it's, you know, they just don't have someone guarding it all the time. So yeah, that's fascinating. I'm just trying to think of the implications. And so, even though this Erdtree, minor Erdtree, appears to be dead, essentially, it is still connected via the roots to other things in general, and perhaps in particular the Erdtree. I'm trying to remember the chain of events which led to the growth of the minor Erdtrees. I want to say that the minor Erdtrees grew because seeds shot out from the Erdtree. I don't recall if that was an event that took place during the shattering or as a result of the shattering, or if it was something that happened prior to it. I would imagine probably prior to it, because otherwise, don't know that that would, like, these trees are too large, and, you know, I say too large, I don't think they could have grown in that amount of time, but we don't know the exact period of time involved, for starters. Okay, so there's a site of grace there. We'll probably just grab that. We don't know the time scales involved, for starters, and second is that even if we did, they're magical trees, right? So, you know, the normal laws of nature don't necessarily apply. So, yeah, so maybe the minor Erdtree is being guarded because, or, you know, they are guarding it with this, with the Erdtree avatars, because they don't want people to mess with the roots. And so the other option I was thinking is because if the Erdtree guardians are themselves sort of half tree at this point, then, you know, maybe they're not here because it's not, it's the weather is too much and they can't handle it, and so they themselves would die if they were to stay here and guard it all the time. But instead we have these demi-humans here guarding it, which is fascinating to me. I think this may also be the first Erdtree or minor Erdtree. Gosh, I keep saying Erdtree when I mean to say minor Erdtree. But this might be the first minor Erdtree we've come across which does not have jars littered around it. So I don't know if that means anything at all, but it is just an observation. Okay, so let's cross the bridge now and unlock that site of grace. So again, I really hope you're all still enjoying this playthrough, because I am deriving a great amount of enjoyment from playing the game and sharing my thoughts and feelings on everything with all of you. So thank you again for being here and for watching. I really appreciate it, especially 54 episodes in to, you know, a meandering playthrough of this sort. So thank you sincerely. Snow Valley Ruins Overlook. Alright, so we actually have split guidance here. So this guidance is leading here, this one is leading here, this one is leading here, leading there. But this one is leading here. Why is this like, yeah, a different method of obscuring? Why is that? That's very curious. Okay, so we should start by just sort of going over in this direction and making sure that we didn't miss anything by skipping sort of... Oh gosh, snails. Those who live in death snails. So might as well just run back to the beginning of the area and just start it from scratch, so to speak. Oh. This is once again where we ended the previous episode. Oh gosh darn it. Stay dead, please. Okay, yeah, massive pile of deathroot here. I assume I pointed this out previously, but the shells of these friends are skulls. Which, yeah, as always is hideous, but also beautiful design. Oh yeah, this friend has a ton of hyper armor. Oh. Popped his head off. That's pretty funny. Alright, probably nothing up here, but worth checking anyway. Yeah, so there's definitely something there. Wow. So yeah, you know, we are getting, I think, you know, if I had to guess now, I'd say we're maybe 60% of the way through the game. Maybe 66 if I'm being generous, 2/3. I somehow feel like it's just going to get bigger from here, but you know, at a certain point we have to be nearing the end. It can't just go on forever, as much as, you know, I might like it to. Again, deathroot, very obviously deathroot here, even though it's covered in snow. It has a very characteristic look, and then it just sort of oddly clumps. It doesn't. And so maybe that's the distinction. When you think about the sort of ecology is probably not the right word. When you think of how plants behave, regardless of the specific terms, I'll probably get it wrong. So, but I'll just speak in plain language, I guess. When a plant is growing, it reaches towards the sun because of photosynthesis and all that. And that's where it gets energy. Presumably in the world you know, the whole thing Queen Marika was saying about, oh yeah, let life flourish, this, that, and the other. And maybe she doesn't mean it in sort of a detached way. Maybe she means it as in life, which is to say the opposite of this, which is death. And so maybe they're using those terms in a way that sort of are not the obvious meanings of the term. And so if this is death root, you see it comes out of the ground, but whereas a plant in the world or a tree or something might reach out for the Erdtree, death root comes out of the ground and just sort of just plops there. It's not reaching out for light. It's just sort of, it looks like it's melting. But I think that's, you know, a consequence of the, you know, sorry, I know I'm all over the place here. I'm thinking about one of the item descriptions which mentioned that, you know, certain things can't resist the effects of the Erdtree. And I think that is probably another example of that. By effects of the Erdtree, you know, it could be talking about how, you know, the Erdtree affects life. And, you know, you see Deathroot. Deathroot can't spread throughout the lands between in all places necessarily because of the effects of the Erdtree. So the Erdtree sort of representing life or a particular conception of life, whereas Deathroot represents a particular conception of, you know, if you don't call it death, maybe anti-life or something like that. And that to say that all, you know, if the Erdtree flourishes, then life flourishes, isn't necessarily to say that everything dies. It may be to say that a particular form of life flourishes, and another form of life, which is to say this, Deathroot, or those who live in death, that form of life cannot flourish insofar as the Erdtree is flourishing. So, I don't know, that's all obviously almost entirely speculative, but I think it is kind of what the environmental cues are telling us here. Though again, yeah, I'm almost certainly wrong about that, but these are just the thoughts that are sort of bouncing around in my head. Oh, fancy hat friend. Oh, stop it. You know, in between the first recording session of the day and today, I took Aurelia of Astora out for a walk, and she has this hat, which, you know, is not all that much unlike Fancy Hat Friend's hat. And it's just funny because every time we put that hat on her and we take her out, at least one person says, "Oh my gosh, your baby is so cute." She really is. We are extremely, extremely lucky. Where are you going, friend? Oh, I didn't think you were actually going to rush at me there. Oh, well played, but then you missed. Oh, gosh darn it. Sometimes my gameplay is just dreadful. I will absolutely concede that. So yeah, I suppose another consideration with the snow and, you know, the weather and everything is that, you know, even in unable to this would exceed the maximum able to be held in inventory and storage. Are you serious? We have too many bolts now? Indeed. Well, let's just, because that's going to be annoying, so let's just discard all the ones we have. I thought we unlocked some massive secret there or something. But yeah, the funny thing is, you know, picking up what I was saying about how at a certain point the game will have to end, is that at a certain point, yes, the game will have to end. However, by that point, I'm pretty sure the DLC will be out. So, yeah, we'll have to see how the timing works out. Because if it works out, and obviously every FromSoft game has their own way of sort of doing DLC, such that, you know, it may be optimal to do the DLC at one point in a playthrough or another. Like, it's possible that by the time the DLC comes out, if we are still on New Game, it might be at a point where we're sort of over-leveled to the point where the DLC won't be worth doing or enjoyable doing, or, you know, it may be optimal to do the DLC when you still have certain quest lines available to you. Otherwise, you might be missing, and you know, one way or the other, of course, we're going to be missing a ton of stuff, but there are various considerations involved. And, yeah, but one way or the other, it is kind of exciting to know that even when we reach the end, there will still be more. And I have mentioned in an earlier episode that we will almost certainly be doing New Game Plus. Again, this is another example of Deathroot, the more obvious example of Deathroot, because normally I think they don't come in those large clumps of the sort that we were looking at earlier. I think this is the most common sort of Deathroot clump we come across. Oh, gosh darn it. No, gosh darn it. Wrong side. Stop it. But yeah, all of that is to say, very excited for the end game, but more excited still for the end game to be extended in theory with DLC. So eventually we're going to have to go face that boss friend. Just not far up the road from here, but I just want to make sure we're not missing anything, although it looks like this is all just more or less, you know, fight a couple skeletons, pick up a rune, some fire blossoms, and that's that. Don't forget the skull snails. Oh, wouldn't it be amazing if instead of the snails having shells, they could have skulls? Oh, that's a great idea. Love to be in the FromSoft writer's room, so to speak, the peace-eye quivers. So it looks like we have multiple, because I want to say in that lower area where the other lighthouse is, that there is also a wandering mausoleum there. So it looks like we have multiple wandering mausoleums in this area. Okay, there's the boss. Ouch. Sorry, Torrent. Oh, you're really going to be a coward like that? Oh, gosh darn it. I had to pick up the golden rune, didn't I? Oh, I'm unsuspecting. What's happening? Oh, surprise! Oh my goodness, that is frightening though. Couple more hits, friend, if you don't mind. Oh. Okay, do we have to hit them a second time? Oh, gosh darn it. I wonder if Order's Blade would have prevented them from coming back. What is this noise? Unless that's just the Wandering Mausoleum. It just sounds like bones shuffling. So probably not an accident, but they have more or less the same sort of attacks as the Deathbird. Oh dear, there's multiple of them. Oh my goodness. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have been talking such smack. Okay, so we didn't get any runes, so the Order's Blade doesn't really make a difference, it looks like. Oh, come on. Shard. Oh gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. Again, the death root is sort of growing onto the gravestones here, which is interesting. This is not my favorite sort of fight in the game. Oh, ran out of stamina. Oh, gosh darn it. And maybe because doing something wrong, or I don't know. It just seems kind of tedious. I'm thinking about the dragon, the massive dragon from Dragon Barrow. So also found that rather tedious, but thankfully these friends don't have nearly as much HP, although there are a ton of them. So I don't know if in the end it evens out to the same amount of HP, but at least if they gave us runes, that would be something. Some sort of consolation. But I assume we're supposed to just... Our reward is to not have to deal with them anymore? I don't know. One would hope that at minimum, that is a rather large castle, looks like. At least it has the appearance of one on the outside. Presumably, that is where the other half of the Erdtree medallion is, which I am quite intrigued about. Okay, where? Oh, over there, okay. This is the one that shot us across the bridge. Oh, that hurts. That hurts a great deal. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Alright. So is there really no point to the bush looked like it was moving. Is there really no point to attacking those friends? Oh, of course they all respawn. Why wouldn't they? Yeah, we're going to ignore them. Thank you. Flask of Wondrous Physic. Without you, I would have ran out of stamina there for sure. Oh my gosh, that wasn't even the last of them. Are you joking? Ah, dreadful. Okay, we need to use a rune arc. Alright, what was big skeleton friend guarding, if anything? Okay, there are bound to be some starlight shards down there. Along with a bunch of bloodstains, so I think it's safe to assume someone's going to be attacking us there. Gosh darn it. So, do you get something if you kill them all? Or are they just meant to be an annoyance? Gosh darn it. I think they're just meant to be an annoyance. Which, you know, that's fine, but it does seem like kind of a waste. What I'd like to know is where's the death root? There's a site of grace down there. So presumably the death root will be somewhere down here. There's going to be a boss or something. Yep. Death. Oh gosh, darn it. You know, it's funny, I was mentioning the Deathrite bird in relation to those skeletons, and here is one such bird. Which thankfully... And by the way, I have another bird update. Okay, this is a new attack. Oh, crud. That's pretty cool. Oh, gosh darn it, wrong flask. There are yet more birds who have done a dreadful job of attempting to build a nest on top of our patio. Oh, gosh darn it. Oh, that was our chance. Oh, now I'm out of stamina because we don't have a flask. Okay, I don't know how we survived that. Oh, gosh. Oh, Death Ritual Spear. Okay. That's not the Death Root I was hoping for, but that works, I suppose. We have a lot of weapons now. Ritual Spear used by priests of old who were permitted to come among the Death Birds. The priests became guardians of the birds through the rite of death, which also serves as an oath sworn to their Distant Resurrection. Unique skill, Spear Call Ritual. Thrust the spear high, bearing prayers into the sky to summon a downpour of spectral spears. Alrighty then. So yeah, another bird has decided to, this is going to be Starlight Shards. Another bird has decided to build a nest on top of our patio. Much like the previous bird, however, this bird is dreadful at what they do. They have dropped, I think, 8 or 9 or 10 twigs and branches with leaves on them and stuff all over the patio. And then I look up at the where they've built a quote unquote nest, and there's like 1 twig. So more or less a 1 in 10 success rate. But yeah, I guess I can't blame them. There's another shack down there. Oh, Shack of the Lofty. Okay, we've already dealt with all this. Apologies, it's later in the day. Then the last time then when we actually dealt with this shack. My apologies also, you may be able to hear Aurelia of Astora crying in the background. My wife is in the process of putting her to sleep, and she is not having it. Okay, so we do have that Volcano Mana request that we still have not dealt with, so maybe before we go in that direction... Oh, actually, there is a Site of Grace over there. I'm torn. Okay. I think maybe we'll drop down. But then, can we get back up, I guess, is the question. I think we can? Or can we? Don't remember whether there was a Spirit Spring or not. Okay, well, you know what? I think we'll just have to remember to return to that. Would like to see what's going on over here first. Okay. I'm not a meteorologist, but I think that's somewhat of a unique or uncharacteristic of lightning to strike, where it's just sort of gently snowing. I will take the Fulgur Bloom though, he says, as though he ever crafts anything. Fulgur Bloom all over the place, though. Okay, friend, do you have any Scarnicles I need to expel? Looks like you do. Shout out to, I think it was Joy, J-O-Y-E, who made the Scarnicles joke. I think I pointed that out in an earlier episode, that I found that just hilarious. Okay, have we done the job? No, still not enough. This is like, a situation in which, like, some guy has a boat that he doesn't usually use. And he's like, yeah, I guess you can use my boat. Maybe as payment for using my boat, why don't you just clean the Scarnicles off of it first? Scarnicles? Oh, yeah, I mean barnacles. Okay, sure. That person who just won't let you have something, they need to get something out of you for it. Okay, I actually don't know which one of these would be the most valuable. I would assume Omen King. Not that we're going to use them anyway, but yeah, anyways. Again, my working assumption with that is that the whole idea of having the ability to duplicate them is so that you can get both items without having to go to New Game Plus, which I think is a nice thing to give players. Castle Sol main gate. Okay, so this is indeed where Latenna's second half of that thing is, that medallion for the Halig tree. And it has that, like, ringed city banner, which we have seen before. I don't remember where, though. It's just like the ringed knights banner. Oh yeah, so the point I was making earlier was that I don't think I ever finished this point, which was yeah, it was around the time when the Dark Souls 3 DLC came out, which is when I started to sort of run out of time for playing Dark Souls 3. And then, or to, you know, playing video games in general. And then it was not long after that that, what am I saying? No. Sorry, what I meant to say was, it was a, gosh, that thing is still shooting at me. That the Ring City is sort of the content in that game that I'm least well familiar with, because up until that point I was still sort of, you know, I still played a lot of Dark Souls 3. I just did not do very much in terms of the DLC. I suppose I played the first DLC a few times, but the Ring City I think I played once or twice at most. So yeah, that's the part of the game with which I'm least familiar. So that was the point I meant to make earlier, but I think I rambled on and never quite got there. So anyways. Okay, let's see if we can, you know, I'm sure we probably don't want to be killing this person, but yeah, this way at least we'll be able to finish Bernahl's questline in theory. So let's see. Oh, he gave a nice little gesture there. Sorry, friend. Oh, nice little move you got there. Oh, is this fancy armor friend? He's got the same as Diallos. He has the same armor as Diallos, so unless he's just from the same family, because I think Diallos did mention he was like the runt of the litter, sort of, so to speak. He was not as valiant as his brother. I might be remembering that wrong. GG, friend. My apologies. Oh, I don't have a bow. Oh, I do have a bow. Okay. Hoslow's pedal whip. Hoslow's helm. Armor, gauntlets, greaves. So we finally got the fancy armor. Okay, let's head back to that site of grace first. That way we can let those demi-humans and bats fight in peace. Meta whip formed of razor-sharp chain-link blades that have the appearance of flower petals. This work of art is handed down through the generations of the illustrious House Hoslow. High dexterity is required to wield this weapon, but it excels at inflicting devastating blood loss. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. Hearing someone shuffling around. Ah, a twin-tailed silver helm decorated with flowery adornments, symbol of the head of the revered House of Hoslow. Juno Hoslow had a younger brother who was all talk and no trousers. His inability to commit to action was such that Juno inherited the Hoslow legacy without resistance, granting him the freedom to shower his little brother with adoration. So obviously that's in reference to Diallos. Garish silver armor decorated with red embellishments passed down through the Hoslow family. When Juno Hostel received an invitation to the Volcano Manor, he discreetly refused. I have already walked many a road drenched in blood, yet never would I consider myself a champion. So, yeah, he refused what his younger brother could not. Okay, so... Okay, now, we've been asking for this armor the whole game. It is a bit worse than the armor we currently have. Let's see, damage negation. It's not too far off. But the fashion, let's see. Ooh. 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 I gotta say, that's looking pretty good. Pretty snazzy. So, once again, it's not going to be better than what we currently have. But, you know, yeah, I guess if we're going to go for the fashion, we might as well go for the fashion. Let's see. Oh, looking good. But I've been using these gauntlets, the Bulgo gauntlets, a la, you know, I guess in a similar way that Havel's gauntlets were used in Dark Souls 1, which is to sort of make up for other pieces of armor that maybe aren't quite as good. And so I don't think we'll equip the gauntlets to go with it just so that we have that extra. But wow, gosh darn, Regret, you are looking snazzy. My goodness. Okay, so this should in theory be the end of Diallo's questline. It doesn't look like anyone is at the Volcano Manor though. And why is Alexander still in the lava? Gosh darn it. Okay, yeah, that is where we found him. Okay, I was going to say, wait a second, why is he still there? Or why, you know, I thought maybe he moved for a second, but no, I don't think so. Okay. Let's go to Volcano Manor real quick to just make sure that no one is there. Okay, was this closed before? Oh, gosh darn it. Taker's cameo. A talisman engraved with a stern likeness of Praetor Rykard, master of Volcano Manor, restores HP upon defeating enemies. When Rykard turned to heresy, taking by force became the rule. The gods themselves were no different after all. Okay, so I guess that's all we get. It's kind of a shame. Let's check Volcano Manor, Roundtable Hold. Yeah, nothing at the Roundtable Hold in terms of Diallos. I was hoping that maybe he would have returned there, but it doesn't look like he has. Okay, so we have one of these lion-esque friends. This might have been what we were hearing. So the name Castle Sol, I want to say I've talked about this previously, but Sol is essentially the name for the sun. Now, this is not going well. Panic dodging like crazy. Oh, what is that? What is that? Oh my gosh, he's got a friend. He's got a friend. He's got a friend. I'm sorry. Ooh. Oh, the friend only seems to have half HP. That's interesting. Jump too. Oh gosh darn it, but not nearly as effectively as you clearly. Oh my gosh, that really hurts. Oh my goodness. I deserve that. I totally deserve that. This one only has half HP. That's what I should have done last time. Let's walk around him. Okay. Sorry, friends. That was a bit cheap of me, and yet you still murdered me anyway. So, fair play to you. And not to me. Okay, I think pretty sure they were both just single spawns, so let's have a rest outside. That way at least we can replenish our Flask of Wondrous Physic before proceeding. Indeed, okay. So we got a close-up of the friend after they murdered us just there. And it looked almost like they had horns. Which would make sense, the fact that we got, what was it, the Beast Fang, right? Gosh darn it, what was it? Yeah, it was the Old Fang. So I don't know if that's meant to suggest that we actually took the Fang off of them, but yeah. Just a thought, or rather an observation. Some friends have been hanged here. Oh, some wolves. Oh, a bird. I hope you're building a nest and hopefully you're doing a better job of it than these other birds do. Ridiculous that. Freezing grease. Sorry, wolf friends. I apologize. This is going to be a shortcut exit, I presume. And that's another painting. Where did you come from? people like duplicating or something? Like, what is happening? So we did see that with the Erdtree Avatar. Or at least we saw, yeah. Did they duplicate or was another one summoned? I actually can't remember. Again, that was earlier this morning. It's now 6:15 in the evening. Or are people just being summoned? Is Godric gonna come back for us? These are Godric's soldiers, I believe. Again, one of the major strengths, I think, of these dungeons and through much of the game that isn't in the open world, so I won't say legacy dungeons because I know that's a specific term reserved for specific places, but one of the strengths of the non-open world areas in the game is the way they build tension. I think they do a tremendous job of that. So there was nothing else in here, right? Was there? Oh. So that just led up there. Okay. I have the memory of a goldfish. Forget things very easily. Okay, we came from that direction, so I remembered that at least. All right. Gosh darn it. Well, well played. Oh, gosh darn it. That was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. I wish I had an excuse for that, but I don't. I just walked into an elevator shaft. So clearly that's a shortcut exit. Yeah, that was terrible. Thankfully, it's just right here. Oh, man. Poor slugs. Nascent butterfly. Oh gosh darn it, I just wasted another rune arc again. Oh well. Guess I'll just leave it. Maybe I should be looking at rune arcs sort of like... I've mentioned Dragon Ball Z a few episodes ago. I should be looking at it like I'm Frieza or something, like, you've only seen 15% of my true power. And not like using a rune arc until it's actually needed. Oh, that's very well played, friend. Oh, Nikes, okay. Okay, well played, friends. Oh. Oh, gosh darn it. A really delayed explosion on that. Can I hit the friend from here, though? Probably not. Missed. One more. All right. Oh gosh, darn it. Yeah, this is the much better approach. Just be aggressive. Oh, too bad. I like how he was like concealed for a second. He's like, wait, should I show myself? Should I? Yeah, okay, I guess. Okay, there's an item here. Let me just make sure there was nothing here as well. Yeah, those are some really cool attacks. So Castle Sol, I don't know that I finished my point, is essentially the castle of the sun. I've explained this previously that Sol, you know, we talk about the solar system and solar systems when referring to other planetary systems. But the term solar system means system of the sun. It's not, yeah, it's hard to care about the paintings as much as I did earlier, now that I know sort of the items are not that tremendous. Having said that, the location for the painting is clearly somewhere in this river, so, you know, we'll see if maybe we can figure that out later. But yeah, we often talk about solar systems and other suns, but really, and you know, I think I've made this point like 5 or 6 times in this playthrough thus far, so oh shite, pardon my language. Oh, this is bad. The birds are sticking together. Yep, simply dreadful. And by the birds are sticking together, I know that was a bird and a wolf, but what I was meaning to say was that clearly this bird has heard that I was talking trash about the birds who were building nests above my patio. And they took it upon themselves to punish me for it, which, you know, I suppose is fair enough. Oh no, my runes. Let's go over here now to get them. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I just could not create some space there. So as I've said previously, fair play to them. Did not deserve to survive that encounter. Darn it. Yeah, I'm out of here. Stupid bird. Oh, I parried you. Oh no, please not again. darn it. Oh, I hate fighting birds in this. Oh, it's so painful. It's so painful fighting birds in this. My goodness. And maybe that's just because I'm terrible at the game. I don't know. But it's so painful. Yeah, those birds are still dropping stuff on on our patio. And yeah, it's quite annoying. Oh, there's a site of grace right there. Gosh darn it. How did I miss that last time? Oh. See, these are all the same friends we fought at Stormville Castle. Oh, where did he go? Church of the Eclipse. Interesting. So I'm still thinking about Aurelia, jellyfish friend. That, yeah, they were, Aurelia, jellyfish friend, and her friend were supposed to go watch the stars together. I wonder what they could mean by that. Ouch. Ouch. Well played, friend. Gosh darn it. I was hoping to see whether that friend had any drops. Oh gosh, is the bird after us again? Is that what that is? Yep. Stupid bird. Hate you. Die. Oh, Thaw. I keep saying Thaw Frost. Thaw Frost boluses. Very nice. There's a ghost in there with an item. Yeah, what's with these doors? Okay, before we go in that direction, oh, I see the boss fog up there. Let's head up here. Smithing stone level 5, so this is like near the beginning of the area, or is it? No. Yeah, that's right where the ghost friend is. Okay. So is there anything else worth exploring in this area? I presume we would drop down from here at some point. Or no. No. That is a gigantic wolf. I'm sorry, wolf friend. Oh my gosh. Here they come. The wolf pack. Ooh. Okay, that was scary. I don't know if have we fought a friend like this? I feel like we have at Stormvale, but it's been so long that I've completely forgotten. What happened to the wolves? Did they just fall off or something? And of course, at the time, we would have been using a halberd. Oh, yeah, I think... Oh yeah, the other wolf fell off. Sorry, friend. This one gave up rather quickly. Come on, friend, I'm gonna run out of stamina here. Thank you. Okay, so what's over here? Other than the frame rate dropping. Stone sword key, very nice. Okay, that's it, I suppose. Unless you're supposed to drop down here for something. No, okay. Alright, let's rest one more time. What's a legendary item? You all know what time it is. Potential thumbnail time. Oh, great sun, frigid son of Sol, surrender yourself to the eclipse. Grant life to the soulless bones. The ghost misspoke there for a second. Eclipse Shodel. Storied sword and treasure of Castle Sol that depicts an eclipsed sun drained of color. One of the legendary armaments. In Sol, the sight of an eclipse inspires a dreadful awe, preventing an onlooker from averting his gaze. The unique skill, Death Flare, set the lusterless sun ablaze with the Prince of Death's flames, inflicting the death ailment upon foes. Follow up with an additional input to bring the armament down, triggering an explosion. That's very interesting, the mention of the Prince of Death there. Oh, stop it, friend. You crossbow friends really have not learned your lesson. Thank you for the mushroom, all the same. Oh, okay, so that's a spot we looted earlier. And this is a new spot as well. There's a rare item over there. Oh my goodness, okay. Okay, I suppose it serves me right for trying to cheese that friend. That was easily the most effective warp move we've seen. Although... followed immediately by the least effective one. Wow, okay. You know, I guess if you're that friend, you take the good with the bad. You when you're that aggressive with your warping. Yep, that's bound to happen. Oh, okay, that works. I'll take it. Cerulean Amber Medallion +1. Yeah, so no difference in terms of the description, except for greatly. Wow, that's pretty funny. Yeah, you know, I think we're at the point where we're not really over-leveled anymore. I hesitate to even say that. I do see an item there. And we can always just warp back to the bonfire after this, so might as well, because I don't know if you can access this side of the castle from outside. Don't tell me you're all the way down there, friend. Oh my gosh, they are. He's like... How, friend? Okay, come on. Let's warp up here, please. Okay, this is quite sad. How have you not been poisoned yet? Yeah, poison arrows in this are not tremendously effective, it seems. Okay, I just wanted to make sure they didn't have any guaranteed drops or anything. Oh no. You friends building a nest or something? Oops. Okay, so not really worth it, I will say, to come out here, but we did it all the same, and so might as well now make sure that there's no caves or anything out here before we return. Oh, just some graves for us to rob. Sweet. I love a good grave robbery, as I say every couple of episodes. Although the runes included in the graves are not really increasing with each grave we rob, in the way you might expect. I see a lot of bloodstains here, suggesting either an enemy is about to spawn here or lots of people are jumping for some reason. Okay, not gonna go there. Alright, well, I suppose we could have done that before entering the castle, but now we know. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna warp. The last thing I wanted to do was fight that bird friend again, so that's why we warped instead of just walking. Alright. So we've dealt with that side area, so now it's just forging ahead. Okay, I was gonna say those noises don't sound promising. was not good. I can hear something shuffling around. I'll bet you any money that's that bird. Oh my goodness, okay. You scared me, friend. Oh my goodness. That scared the daylights out of me. Oh no. This friend is gonna get his chance. I really shouldn't be trying to parry, because my parry game is not on right now. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. That was an emphatic not, he says as he's about to attempt again. Okay, well he's stuck, might as well heal. Oh, you got a little table there. Oh, we warped, okay, fair enough. Oh, gosh darn it. There we go. Any items? No. Okay. Yeah, that's the one thing about, you know, they build this tension. It builds and builds and builds. And it just, everything seems so quiet. And then suddenly they summon a whole bunch of ghosts and you're like, oh my goodness. Okay, so now, oh, do we need to check whether, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just an elevator for once, so let's see what's going on behind boss door number 1. Commander Niall, okay, so just like Commander O'Neill. Lieutenant, we need you. Might have been a better idea to summon Regret for this, because Lieutenant is unfortunately a bit defenseless. Rip, Lieutenant, thank you for your service, friend. Probably not a good idea to try and tank the damage. Okay, this friend is a bit more capable than Commander O'Neill, it seems. Oh. Ouch. Okay, this is all we got. Ooh. Veteran's prosthesis. Bladed prosthetic leg enwreathed with the power of lightning. Instead, attached to the fist. Commander Niall Niall, veteran of Castle Sol, offered this prosthesis in exchange for the lives of defeated knights held prisoner. He went on to lead these men as an army of no nation. Unique skill, Storm Kick, thrust the prosthetic leg blade into the ground, creating a storm. Follow up with Strong Attack to perform a lightning-infused jumping attack. Alright, well, I'm not sure that we deserved to survive that, but we did, so, you know, I'll take it. Castle Sol Rooftop. Well, thanks for the rating, friends. There's going to be no item here, presumably. Gosh darn it. Nor here. Okay, just an elevator leading up. I did not see whether there was anything underneath it, so we may have to double check that. Okay, let's double check now. Gosh darn it. There's one rickety elevator. Yeah, that's just a bottomless pit. Alrighty. Ooh, Lord McKellar, forgive me. The sun has not been swallowed, our prayers were lacking. Your comrade remains soulless. I will never set my eyes upon it now. Your divine Eclipse. Eclipse secret medallion left. Left half of a split medallion depicting the Eclipse. Brandishing the medallion with both halves conjoined will activate the Grand Lift of Rold, granting access to a hidden path. In other words, this secret medallion will guide the bearer to the land of Miquella's Eclipse. Alright, well, I think that may be as good a place as any other, because I do not want to activate the Grand Lift of Rold until the next episode. Where are people trying to go here? There's nowhere to jump. Yeah, anyways. So thank you all very, very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.